All right, today we are jumping headfirst into a topic that starts arguments in literally every pub, living room, and stadium on the planet: the official laws of football. Let's get into it.
Oh, come on. You know you have. We've all been there, right? The ref makes a totally baffling call, and suddenly you're an expert screaming at the screen. But what if you could actually understand the rules they're enforcing? Well, that's what we're going to do right now.
So where do these rules even come from? I mean, they're not just made up on the spot. There is an official blueprint, a master plan that every single professional match in the world has to follow.
And the authority behind it all is the International Football Association Board, or IFAB as they're known. Think of them as the global guardians of the laws of the game. These aren't just friendly suggestions. They make sure football is played by the exact same rules, whether you're watching in Manchester, Munich, or Montevideo.
Now you'd think a global sport this complicated would have a rule book the size of a phone book, right? Well, here's the wild part. The entire game, all of it, is governed by just 17 core laws. That's it. Everything, from the size of the field to the most controversial calls, it all comes down to these 17 rules.
Let's start at the very beginning. You can't have a game of football without a few key ingredients. The first few laws cover these three absolute non-negotiable core components.
First up, law number 1, the field of play. You gotta have a place to play, right? This law lays out everything: the dimensions of the pitch, the markings, and the surface, which has to be either all natural grass or an approved artificial turf. Simple enough.
Next, Law 2, the ball. Yeah, kind of crucial. This law is super specific. The ball has to be spherical and meet exact size and pressure standards. It's all about making sure the ball behaves consistently no matter where a game is played.
And finally, what's a field and a ball without the players? Law 3 covers the players. A match is played by two teams, and this law sets the rules for how many players can be on the field, the process for substitutions, all of it. So there you have it: the field, the ball, the players, the three basic building blocks.
Okay, so we've set the stage. Now let's see how these basics come together to create the actual flow of a match. The next set of laws dictate the rhythm, the timing, and the main objective of the game.
Law number 7 gives us the timeline. Super simple. 2 equal halves of 45 minutes. That's the foundation for the entire game's pacing and flow. Now, obviously, this doesn't account for stoppage time, but that 90-minute structure is the core.
And how do we get things going? Law 8 tells us every single half and every restart after a goal begins with a kickoff from the center circle. It's the official way to get the ball, well, rolling.
And this is what it's all about. Law 10 defines the single most important event in football: scoring a goal. But pay attention to the wording here, because it's everything. The whole of the ball has to pass over the goal line. If even a millimeter of the ball is still technically on the line, guess what? It's no goal. It's an absolute rule, and boy, is it the source of some drama.
All right, let's get into the stuff that really gets people fired up: the physical side of the game. How does the sport manage all that conflict and aggression? Well, that's where fouls, misconduct, and free kicks come into play.
Law 12 is basically the play nice rule. It's all about keeping the game fair and, maybe more importantly, keeping the players safe. It lists all the things you can't do, like trip someone or handle the ball, that are considered fouls. It's the referee's job to spot these and keep the chaos under control.
Okay, this is a huge one that trips a lot of people up. Not all fouls are created equal. Law 13 breaks down the two different types of free kicks. With a direct free kick, you can take a shot and score straight away. But for an indirect free kick, the ball has to touch another player before a goal can be scored. It's a critical difference.
And now for the ultimate punishment in football: the penalty kick. According to Law 14, if a defender commits a serious foul, one that would have been a direct free kick, but they do it inside their own penalty area, the attacking team gets a penalty. It's a pure one-on-one showdown between the kicker and the goalie. You just can't get higher stakes than that.
Okay, everybody, take a deep breath. We've arrived. We are now at the Mount Everest of football rules, the one concept that has been confusing fans, players, and probably even some referees for over 100 years. We are going to decode Law 11, offside.
No, seriously, what is it? It feels like it changes every season, it seems so subjective, and it causes more arguments than anything else in sports. But I promise you, there is a logic to it, and we're going to break it down step by step.
First things first, and this might be the most important part to get straight, just being in an offside position is not against the rules. It's not an offense. You can stand there all you want. It only becomes a problem when a few other things happen.
And here they are. For an offside offense to be called, all three of these things have to happen, in this order. 1. The player has to be in an offside position. 2. And this is the key, we judge that position at the exact moment the ball is kicked forward by a teammate. And 3. That player then has to get involved in the play. If any one of those 3 pieces is missing from the puzzle, it is not an offside offense. Simple as that. Well, kinda.
You know, when you take a step back and look at all 17 of these laws, from the really simple ones to the offside rule, you start to see that they all share a purpose. They aren't there just to confuse us. They exist to create a framework that allows for fairness, integrity, and safety.
So, here's the big takeaway. These 17 laws are like the invisible architecture of football. They create the structure, the boundaries that allow for all the incredible speed, the breathtaking skill, and the unforgettable drama to happen. They're what make the beautiful game, well, beautiful.
And that kind of leaves us with one last question to chew on. We now have amazing technology like VAR, which can enforce these laws with millimeter precision. But has that actually made the game simpler to understand? Or has it just shown us how complicated these rules really are? It makes you wonder, will the rules of the beautiful game ever be truly simple? Or is their complexity part of the drama that we all love so much?